Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another edition here of the OSC Elite Rising Star 16 day number 7. I'm of course just VIP with you. I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Whew, welcome, one and all. Bienvenidos, papi, bienvenidos, as always, as we have returned with a very special tournament here. The OSC Elite Rising Star, for those that are maybe unfamiliar, this is a tournament that is restricted, not by MMR, but by accolades. Players that have gone too far in major tournaments are not able to compete in this event, and this allows for the up-and-comers to face off against each other here. So again, champions and players that place too highly in events like EPT, in offline tournaments as well, like they're not quite eligible, or offline major premier events, I should say, like EWC, like the Esports World Cup, like Stars Agora. And here we are featuring a set of very different players. Here we go, exclamation mark, be in the chat, have a look back yourselves. This is day number 7, so again, we've had plenty of days and the bracket has been progressing very, very nicely. It's a massive bracket full of players. From the top, as you can see, we've had players like Honmono, Nicoract, Mixu, Art, the other Art, Shameless, Inexorable, Percival, Sig, Moja, Jimmy, Baby Marine, YoungYakov, UD Soldier, to name a few. So again, still all pro players or semi-pro players in their own right, up-and-coming players might I add as well, and we have had some big results. I believe the previous edition of this cast was covered by Steadfast, and you can see Art did take down Art to advance onto the upper bracket. Percival took down YoungYakov 2-1 to advance on the face-off against Art in the upper bracket as well, but we are not covering and not focusing on the upper bracket, we are focusing instead on the lower bracket. Scrolling down here, again, it is double elimination, a lot of matches have been going on. We can see Sebestes knocked Jimmy out. Ooh, big win here for Sebestes. Jimmy is out of the tournament. Sebestes, he's waiting for the winner of Nicoract and Eba, and that is our next series. So we're going to be covering Nicoract versus Eba. That's going to lead into Sebestes, and that's going to lead into YoungYakov as well. Scrolling further down, we have Shameless. Shameless, he eliminates Baby Marine. Baby Marine is out of the tournament. Moja also out of the tournament as well. And we have Shameless versus Pappy towards the end of the broadcast, and the winner against Art. So these are the areas, these are the sections, or this is the section of the lower bracket that we're going to be focusing on here. All these 5 matches here tonight. Let's go. Let us go. As we are going to be settling in and jumping into our first series of the broadcast. Here we go. So up first is going to be Nicoract and Eba. They're facing off in a best of 3. I should also remind you as well, these are all going to be best of 3s. And here we go. We're jumping into game number 1. Game 1 is going to be on Pylon. Get everything ready. Oh, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the Red Terran. We have the Red Terran player himself representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg player himself representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Eba. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series as we are jumping into our initial best of 3. And again, we're going to be following our players into each other. We'll get there. For now, we do have our opener, Hashcat Spool, center opener at Eba. Likewise, Nicoract going for his own rank expand as well. And it's been a while since we've been able to feature Eba on the channel. Not gonna lie, Eba has been taking some time off. He has been playing a little bit less, competing a little bit less. So it's great to see him here as a part of the OSC Elite Rising event. We'll see how far he can go. Coming into this, I do favor Nicoract, for sure. I do favor Nicoract here. He is the stronger, more solid player. But Eba, he can spike up in skill. He can definitely bring it to Nicoract on a good day. He just has to bring his everything, his all. Oh, let's go. Let us go. So now our players are just opening up. Standard openers all around. Eba, he has been playing around a little bit with rushing into Hive, of course, and rushing into Ultras, as everyone has in the meta. We'll see if Eba does embrace it here, if he does play Lingbane Hydra instead. The other thing, of course, welcome to Pylon. Pylon is known for all-ins. Pylon is one of the smaller maps in the map pool, aggressive map as well, and this is where Nicoract can pop off. As Nicoract is typically very aggressive in this matchup, we have a lot of 2 base all-ins, 3 base all-ins. Oh, there you go. Hopefully everything's okay. So it was a bit of a pause. And Nicoract will chase the initial drone. He will delay. Yeah, it does delay the third base. Aye. And this is actually a really brutal start. Another drone! The other drone gets targeted down as well. And with that Eva, he cannot expand. Yeah, delayed hatchery here. As Eva does finally get his own base up and running, but again, a delayed expansion is going to be delayed. Behind this third TC before Starport, economic opener out of Nicoract. And so far, Nicoract does have a nice start. Nope. Reaper does pull out. Pulls out. Behind this, we are getting into an Hellion production into Hellion Banshee. And again, it's still on Eva to recover and to minimize losses. Once a Hellion's in the field, Nicoract will have the opportunity to go into mineral lines or to just deny creep. It's going to be up to Eva to minimize losses, keep up with the Hellion rotations, and spread that creep. Without it, he's going to have a hard time defending his third base and his fourth. So pressure's on Eva. Moving forward. Move in. Hellions, they take down one of the tumors. Not bad. One tumor goes down. Nicoract, he rotates. Does back off, does rotate. They do get into the mineral line. Roasting up some drones. That's going to be 7 drones going down. 7 getting up to 8. Aye. And getting up to 11 actually towards the end. That is brutal damage. Losing 11 drones here. Not just that. How many Hellions went down? 2. 2 Hellions for 11 drones. So Nicoract, he does extend his lead from the early game. And this sim timing is going to be brutal. Getting to sim, getting to a 3-axe. Eventually into 5. And Eba, he has had a really rocky start. Eba, he does attempt to open up roaches, but opening up roaches is meant to be safe. It's meant to be a safe way to open up. Eba gets supply blocks. I feel like at this point, just because Eba's so far behind, we got to all in. It's going to be a roach all in here. That would make the most sense out of Eba. To get a 4th base just for lava and to just max out on roaches. Another sign of this as well is no Eva chamber, right? No Eva chamber, no upgrades, no +1. We'll keep an eye on Eba. Also, bienvenidos Solens VAR in the chat. Babylings, Psycons as well. Bienvenidos. And Eva, he's going to be macroing out of this. We spoke about the lack of Eva chambers. Now we see them double Eva chamber. Tells us that Eva is redroning, resaturating, recovering from his losses, or at least trying to, focusing on one upgrades. And this will give Nicoract more momentum. More momentum, gets a queen. Here with the Hellies, they dive into the middle line once again, getting us another 8 drones. Oh god. 8 more drones going down, brutal losses. Nicoract is gearing up. Getting ready for his push. Eba, he's taking up in towards Infestation Bit, in towards Hive Tech. Now, I say Hive Tech, with safety infestors, Eba can hold, for sure. Can hold on. Going straight for the Hive. It's a bold move. Marines, they stim in, they focus on the Ravagers. Tank gets wound down. Eba's holding. Battles on the tank. He's holding on. He's going to be rushing in, getting us other Banelings. Oh! Banelings to do apparently more fit in time. And once again, takes out the second tank. Eba, he's holding on. Nicoract, he's maybe pushing too soon. Like, pushing with the first tank, Lossa now moves in with the second tank again, just one tank at a time. He's been unable to build up. Nicoract a little bit too excited. Working towards Baneling speed. Can he get there? Dropping to the main. Nicoract deep on creep. Jesus. Has to be so careful. Here, Nicoract gonna get surrounded. Cloud does not connect. Baneling's oh no, they split! Oh, it's okay. Yo, who needs to split? Just stim and win, papi. Yay. Takes out every single Baneling. Baneling speed is now finishing up. And Eba, he's hurting. Nicoract, he's out trading, he's out scaling. 2-2 upgrades are on the horizon. You can see that Eba's win condition is to survive into Ultras. But Ultras are a ways away. And these trades from Eba, they've just been too poor. They're just... not like this, papi, not like this. Mirror Nicoract, he stims in. Lings are out just in time. Nice target firing with the tank. Ooh, tank goes down. Tank goes down, and Eba is down to 3 roaches, down to 2. 2 roaches left, down to 1. GG gets called. Eba is broken, and Nicoract takes game number 1. Whew, GG. Nicoract does take a lead in the series. Again, it was a really shaky early game out of Eba. He lost so many drones, so many workers at the start of the game. Initially it was 8 and then another 11 on top of that, so 19 drones went down to Hellion Harass, and it set Nicoract up for success. Now, my criticism was that Nicoract, he was maybe pushing too soon, he was maybe pushing too quickly before he was really set up, so that did allow Eba to take some fights and to survive a little bit longer, but it was all trades that he could not afford, and Eba was just still outscaled as the game progressed. GG. GG, well played. With that, Nicoract takes the lead in the series. Now we're getting to game number 2. Let's go. Oh, on one of the older maps. Okay. Gonna be leading into one of the older maps. It's spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern. We have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran himself leading the series 1-0. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean, sorry, we have the English Zerg player from the land of the UK, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Eba. Let's go. As a reminder, this tournament, like many events nowadays, actually does feature an extended map pool. Does have an extended map pool voted on by the players, and Ancient Cistern is one of those maps that was voted in to compete in these OSC events. Events like this, events like OSC Elite mid-season playoffs. And of course, the King of the Hill. As we load into Ancient Cistern, the rush distance by ground is longer. The map is pretty open in the center of the map as well. This is typically considered to be a Zerg-friendly map. So this is going to be Eva's best chance, best opportunity. Slow things down. Speaking of slowing things down, Eva going gasless. Okay, bold move. So hatch into pool into delayed gases for Eva. Last game we saw attempted roach play into ultras, and it should be the same here. Where because link speed is going to be delayed, because the gas is going to be delayed, we should most likely be going into roaches. But we'll see. Keep an eye on Eva. Yeah, so he does move out. Once again here to delay. This time though, Eva should expand. Yeah, Rush's background is longer, so the Reaper takes longer to get across the map. Hatchery will be taken. So it does delay, but not for too much. Not for too long. As Reaper does get behind the mineral line, Eva did skip Lings actually. Oh, it did skip Zerglings, forcing out 2 spores. Nice damage so far. Just forcing Eva to waste resources. Lose mining time. He's still attempting his drone. Again, still defending with purely Queen. Oh, Nicoract getting his CC on location. I mean, he does recognize the greed of his opponent by seeing no Lings, right? No Zerglings, so CC on location. And behind this, third CC, 2-on-1. Oof. This is going to hit quite hard. This could even be a Hellbat push as well. So we could morph in Hellbats alongside this. Eva, as we mentioned before, because of the opener of choice, it did scream Roaches. So Roach Horn's on the way. The reasoning for this is because of the late gas. And the non-existent link speed. As Nicoract does pull out. Tips in, pulls away, did already confirm the Roach Horn. Nicoract knows. As one's not the wall, the wall's not a wall. Hellions, they just go in, they just walk in. And already 5-6 drones going to be going down. And thankfully, there's a full wall here at the ramp. Oh no, I spoke too soon. Hellions, they bust in. 10 more drones going down. And it should only be 10. Maybe one more. What a mass? 11. 12. It's 11 drone kills, and Nicoract, he does take a lead. He does gain momentum, a really strong start for the Terran player, because what is the follow-up? The stim timing. Remember, stim is on the way, double Metax on the way, and Nicoract will soon push across the map. I did mention that this could have led into a Hellbat push, but now we've thrown away all the Hellions, so it should just be no armory, just stim at timing here instead. Double eBay is going to be on the way, early double eBay. That's double eBay before the third Rax. This can be a 2-on-1 and can lead into an A-Rax, if the game goes that long. Oh boy. Some drops have arrived. Alright. Nicoract moves out. Behind this, the Roach count is still actually quite low. If they all come together with the Queens, I believe Eva should be able to hold on. Otherwise, Nicoract can trade well. It does go for the unload. Diving the Roaches. Gets 1, gets 2, gets 3. Yeah, all 3 roaches go down. Now diving on the queens. Transfuses are limited. And a very nice trade here for Nicoract. Gets 3 roaches and a queen. For 3 marines. Now we can heal up and potentially do that again. He stims. I'm just focusing on the tumors. Does focus the tumors. From here he's on 5 Raxes. And he does take a gas. Okay. He does take a gas, but 1 extra gas at the third base is indicative of Marauders. So this can still be an A ranks, but there it is. 4th CC is on the way, on location. Nicoract building up into a longer game, still trading well. Catching out more roaches. And a queen. And eBay stumbling his way into the mid game. Once again, it was just a really rough early game, losing all those drones. And it did set Nicoract up for success. And he was just been playing catch up the entire time. Just been playing from behind, trying to catch up. And Nicoract stims in. Takes care of the base, takes care of all the roaches, GG gets gold. There's nothing to defend, and Nicoract will claim the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations to Nicoract. Again, just a really strong early game at Nicoract. Early on in both Game 1 and Game 2, he was able to deal crippling economic damage, which meant that when it came to the main pushes, Iba, he could not defend against them. He could not keep up. Just too many losses too early. GG. GG, well played. Whew. With that, Nicoract does advance on to the next round, and the question becomes, who's up waiting for him? Who's up next? Sebestus. If you remember, Sebestus did eliminate Jumi from the tournament, and Sebestus, he was waiting for the winner of this series, and they're about to face off. They're about to face off here and now. Just setting things up. Team Roddy. Okay. But my condolences to Iba as Iba. He's knocked out of the tournament. Not a bad player at all. But as I mentioned before, he has been a little bit less active as of late. He's been less in form, a little bit more rusty around the edges, of course. And against Nicoract, you gotta be in tip-top form, of course. Nicoract, and especially coming into this next series, bearing in mind that Nicoract, I would say his best matchup is TVP. This is where Nicoract thrives, this is where he does threaten the best Protoss players in the world, and Sebestus is gonna have to bring his A game here against Nicoract. Oh boy. Sebestus. Let's go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the yellow Protoss player from the land of Czechia representing Team Roddy. It is Sebestus. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player, the red Terran himself representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. And as we dive into this, a big shout out in the chat. Thank you so much to Zelane in the chat for subscribing for 2 months. God, thank you so much for the resub. Hope you enjoy the content, hope you enjoy the casting, hope you enjoy the StarCraft. And I hope you're able to get your gamba going, because predictions are open. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Coming into this, I do lean towards Nicoract. Nicoract has been a lot more in form as of late, but at the same time, I just haven't seen that much of Sebestus. So we'll see. We'll see how he compares. We'll see if he can keep up. Pressure is on. But thank you, puppy, thank you. Do appreciate it. Appreciate the support. As specifically in this matchup, Nicoract, he's a lot more aggressive. A lot more assertive, a lot more all-in at times as well. So we expect aggression out of Nicoract. And we'll see if Sebestus can get a read on what's going on. Already going for the eBay block, and Sebestus, he's late to scout. Ooh. Yeah, he's much later to scout here. He does see it's already halfway done. And Sebestus forced to expand at the unnatural. Forced to expand to the third base. Jesus. Behind this Sebestos, it is going to be a tricky defense. Not impossible, of course, but Nicoract, he does go for the factory follow-up from here and going to Hellion and going to Cyclone. He can try to abuse the fact that Sebestos is split between his third base and his main. So we'll see if Nicoract goes for earlier aggression or does go for a later timing. We'll see how he attempts to punish. That's a 90 to get to. You can see here, it's like 99 points, like up. Again, so close to finishing. And of course, this can just be cancelled. This can be cancelled, this can be refunded. There's Yadon Swabber going for Hellions, not Cyclones. And we'll see how many Hellions Nicoract does invest into. We'll see if he goes up to 4. We'll see if he goes up to 6. As yep, here comes the first pair. We have more on the way. Now, the reasoning, the rationale of going into Hellions like this is, as we just mentioned, because Sebestos is spread between his third and his main expansion. So there's this big area in between that can be abused, and the Hellions, they can pick and choose. Do we hit the third base, or do we go straight for the natural instead, straight for the main instead, up the natural ramp? The Hellions are moving out a little bit soon. They apply some pressure. Yeah, one probe. Shouldn't get much more. Ooh, and Nicoract, he does get away. Yeah, some misplaced force fields. Hellions do pull back. We have more Hellions on the way. Getting up to 6. And they can just be true. They can just heal up. Oh, God. The healing pad. True. Just healing up and go once again. He's going for the main this time. Yeah, there's no force field. Oh, sorry, there is. It does force field in time. Whew. Very close. Very close, very clutch. 2 more probes going down. Hellions, they're going back for the main. This time, no energy. No force field. And 4 Hellions, they one-shot probes. Oof. 7 probes going down. Getting it to 9. Getting it to 10. And this is crippling damage. 12 probe kills, getting up to 14. 19, 20. No, they line up. The probes line up. 25 probe kills. And Sebestos down to a 1 base economy, less than a 1 base economy. I mean, that's game-ending damage, to be honest. That's game-ending damage. At this point, Sebestos has to all in. At this point, he's completely all in. Just warp in and send whatever you can across the map. There is no macroing out of this, not anymore. No bunker, okay. Blink is almost done, no bunker to defend. Nicoract being greedy. Now without a bunker, all these Stalkers could actually break the natural. It could happen. Stim is done. The tank has arrived. Stalkers are going for the dive. There's a Stim. Gets a tank, but yeah, the Stalkers, that was brutal. Losing 3, losing 4 Stalkers. Oh, does blink away. Nice control. I believe it was only 3. 2. Only 2 Stalkers and 1 Sentry. Stalkers, they're so low. And Nicoract is still ahead. Like, Nicoract, he's still ahead. He's still looking comfortable. Oh, Sebestos is able to heal up. True. Does some of the army. Yeah, the tank is in position. Sebestos cannot move in. He can try to get high ground vision instead. Stalkers are perfect hit. I mean, Nicoract's out of position, so the Stalkers, they can actually get some damage done here. Boys are being pulled. Yeah, messy defense. Nicoract, we gotta go. We gotta send it. Getting 4, getting 5 SCV kills. Nicoract, he's holding his own. There's the recall. He stims in. Premier does stim forward. Breaks through the Stalkers. Jesus, so many Stalkers going down. There's a siege. And Nicoract, he should have too much here. Stalkers, they can go for the blink. He goes for it. Let's go for the dive. And it'll cost him every Stalker. Nice target firing. Nicoract, he does clean up. Remember, these are losses that Nicoract can afford and not some that Sebestos can. As he just sims in. He just keeps simming in, and no shield battery. GG gets called, and Nicoract, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, just a brutal start there for Sebestos, losing so many probes. Also 24 probes at the start of the game. That's game-ending damage. As we mentioned, like, that was game-ending damage. The best chance that Sebestos had was to go for an all-in, was to try to catch his opponent with his pants down, but Nicoract was playing safe for the most part. There was no bunker, but he survived until the tank. He was able to pop off from there. GG. GG, well played. He's fighting his heart out. He was. I mean, hey, there were some opportunities there for Sebestos. He was able to get some value at least. But with that, GG, well played. And now we're getting into our next game. Loading into Pylon. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Pylon, we have the yellow Protoss player. The yellow Protoss representing Team Roddy from the land of Czechia. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back. It is Sebestos. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Terran player, the red Terran himself representing the planet of heroes. It is Nicoract. Let's go. So from here, Nicoract going to be opening up double gas. So double gas opener. This time there's no eBay block. There's no block. So Sebestos, he will have a much cleaner, a much more comfortable early game, going for his own gate expand. So a much cleaner start. Meanwhile, Nicoract opening up double gas is going to go for a faster factory. Now with a faster factory, we can turn this into, once again, a reactor Reaper Hellion. We can go into earlier Cyclone production. This can lead into, obviously, a faster 1-1-1, into early drop play. So we'll see where Nicoract takes us with this. But this is a more tech-heavy start. Nicoract does move out. Behind this, going for the tech lab first into, I would imagine, add-on swap. So, okay, no reactored Reaper or no reactored Hellion. Very intense. Going Reaper into tech lab, into add-on swap, into early Cyclone. There's the swap. Cyclone production has begun. Now, mech, of course, is still very viable against Protoss. We've seen a lot of mech, and suddenly that mech is going to be an option here. Now just going for the 1-1-1. So far, it is a little bit early to call. Let's pull away. Oh. Cyclone pops. And everything gets scouted. And it's going to be bio. Okay, so we have a second rack here. It's going to be bio out of Nicoract. The best is he does go in for the scout. He does confirm the add-on swap, so he knows that there's no additional cyclone or tank production. He knows that he's safe against any kind of early ground push. As Sebestis is good. Sorry, as Nicoract is going to be opening up, I would imagine Banshee. Oh, a fake out. Okay. Does go for a fake out instead. Interesting. Hallucination goes down, gets a little scout. Going for the initial Widowmine drop into Banshee play. Only the single Widowmine, so this is designed to scout more than anything. Speaking of scouting, back at home, we do see Sebestis getting into his own 3-gate setup. So 3-gate blink into a robo. Double gases on 2 bases as well. So Sebestis, he delays his third. And Nicoract, he confirms how delayed it is. So very safe play out of Sebestis. Staying on 2 bases even longer. And from here, he can even go for the Temple Archives. But there we go. Now going for the third. Gotta make this deflected. Oh. Let's go down. And here we go. We are going for the 2-base all-in. It's all or nothing. The boys are being pulled. What do we have? We have 2, soon to be 3 tanks. 3 tanks. We have a Banshee, soon to be 2. Hallucination goes in for the scouts. Has yet to confirm. Sees lack of add-on, and now sees lack of SVs. Now he knows. Yeah, Sebestis now he knows. He has to engage ahead of time. But the army's already here. It's already across the map. Ooh, gets a Stalker. That should not have happened. Gets a Sentry as well. Boys are getting a little bit ahead of themselves. SVs are being cleaned up. But the tank has arrived. The boys are being pulled. Sebestis is getting desperate. Does get the first tank. 1 tank goes down. Oh, second tank does siege. And Nicoract, he can keep pushing. Yeah, he can just keep on pushing. He breaks through. This boy's being pulled for a second time. Dives on the tank. Every Stalker gets cleaned up. There's 1 Stalker left. Down to 1. Oh my god. And logos are brutal. 14 probes do fall. Crippling damage. And we just keep rallying. And Nicoract, he just keeps on rallying. Saves the Cyclone. Oh no! Ooh. Cyclone goes down. The attendants around here with the Stalker. Rallies in. Never mind. Now, Sebestis can crank out a couple of Immortals and he can try to pull up a defense. The Immortals on the way. Once again, boys are being pulled. But there are so many more Marines this time. They start a step, they focus on the Stalkers. Step in. From here, Sebestis, he's barely holding on, but Nicoract, he can just commit. He can just commit, he can get ready for the next wave. He can get ready to pull the boys for a second time, but no, he gets a 3rd TC. Okay. Nicoract is macroing out of this. Doesn't need to. I'm too used to watching home mono. I'm just we just keep pulling the boys. Oh. Sylvester gets punished. And she gets across the map. Mining is being denied to the third. 6, 7 probes. And GG gets called. As the best as he has nothing remaining. And Nicoract, he will take the series. Take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Sebestis' economy was crippled. There was an opportunity to go into the main base and to get some counter damage done, but he just lost the observer. So that means that there's no counterplay available. That means there's no way to get into the main. So Sebestis, he was just stuck outside the bases, requiring to do damage and being unable to. GG. GG, well played. Nicoract, he will claim the series. He will take the 2-0 and advance on into the next round. Oh boy, Nicoract, he does advance on a face-off against YoungYakov in that next round. And we'll get there to that YoungYakov series. For now, we're going to be focusing on our next matchup. Okay. Of course, exclamation mark be in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves. To have a look. As you can see here on the lower brackets, we do have some updates. Un momento. As Nicoract, he advances on the face-off against YoungYakov. YoungYakov, he was waiting in the next round. Now, we're going to be holding off on that series. We're going to be first covering the lower brackets, the lower portion. Shameless and Papi, they're going to be facing off in a PvP. And then we'll be hopping up into YoungYakov versus Nicoract. So they're going to be on hold. It's going to be on hold for the time being. Again, we're focusing on the PvP into another PvP. These are the next 3 series on the broadcast today. YoungYakov versus Nicoract and Shameless versus Papi into Art. That is the plan. Is the plan. As Shameless and Papi are. They have been getting ready. We have our PvP. And, of course, we have a bit of a fan favorite here, or a channel favorite, I should say. We talk about him all the time, Papi. Let's go. Getting into our PvP. Game 1 is going to be on Tokamak. And spawning in the right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss. Oh. Red Protoss himself. It is Papi. Hi, Papi. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player from Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our fresh best of 3. Here we go. As we are loading into Tokamak, Tokamak is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Likewise, once we get into players like Papi, players like Shameless, we are expecting more longer games as well, more drawn-out mid-game between 2 Protoss players. When it comes to the top level of PvP, players like MaxPack, Showtime, Classic, Hero, Zound, Nightmare, then we often see all-ins, right? We often see hyper-aggressive play with proxies and 1-base all-ins and 2-base all-ins and hidden tech as well. Very chaotic, and honestly, I really do enjoy that. But here, this is where we get into typically more standard PvPs, like no rush 8 minutes, and get into our 2-gate opener, into the 3rd base, into Twilight Council, another gateway, into a 3rd. Is usually what we see. Oh, hello. But Shameless, he will be hiding a pylon, and this is a prime location for a robo. I'm ready. I'm excited. Proxy robo out of Shameless. Meanwhile, Papi, it's on him to confirm what's going on. Probe Scout is coming in. Papi goes in for a full scout, and he will confirm that, hey, the pylon is missing. He will confirm. Aren't you, Pappy? Hi, Pappy. Look, there's a little bit of Pappy in all of us, okay? Some more than others. Oh, no. That's for now. We do have that Robo again, one way still in at a Shameless. And your first name is Este. True, true. Este, papi. Ay, ay, ay. As here comes a Prism, and Epson moving out. Of course, Sword Up's taking one-shot probes, and we'll see if Shameless can get into the main. Meanwhile, we can see the Pappy. Ooh, he went for the faster expansion. Went for the faster Nexus. Oh, got shade in. Toss right in that shade. Doesn't commit. Here, loading up. Bypasses the main army. Heads for the main base mineral line. He's trying to keep up. He's trying to keep up, and so far he does deflect. Immortal has arrived. And this is the big power spike for Shameless. He has the Immortal, Pappy does not. His own robot just started, it just finished. Here we go, Shameless moving in. Force fields, they try to zone away. Immortal drops over the wall. We do have two shield vibers buying a lot of time. Buying a lot of time here. The Immortal trying to bust on in. But again, down to one Stalker. He's going for the warp in. Yeah, he's going for the warp in. He's done it. Shameless, he breaks the natural base. Takes down the Stalkers, depletes all the energy, takes down the pylon. And no shield by support. Locks down the Immortal. Oh. Despite that, though, pulls back to the safety of the shield battery. Pappy, he's holding. Aye, Pappy. He's holding on. Repower those shield batteries. Get him back up. Ooh, this is up against two Immortals. Two Immortals. It should be too much. Hides back, saves the Immortal just barely. Second Immortal has arrived. It's up to two. Third one is on the way. But they do such a great job tanking Immortal shots. Pappy does save his natural. So let's hold him to the natural base. Shameless jumping into the main. Force fields, they try to zone away Pappy. Oh, the Immortals are going off. Yeah, they're popping off. Ah, the robo's depowered. Duh. Robo's depowered. GG gets called. Shameless does overwhelm, and Shameless takes game number one. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Music super loud. Oh, I do apologize. Sorry, the audio was messed up a little bit previously. Where was it before? Un momento. But GG, well played with that. Shameless takes the lead in the series, and we're now getting into game number 2. Let's go. Let's take a lead. Basically, I started laddering again. last week, right? I think last week I had a stream, I had a ladder session, but I was using an older account, and I think the settings on that account like bled over into my casting account, and it's like, it's all a little bit messed up, but it's all good. Here we go, we're jumping into game number 2. Jumping into the rest of our series and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Pylon, we have the Polish Protoss player, we have the Red Protoss. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is Bappy. Aye, Bappy. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Blue Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. Here we go. But I do apologize for the audio. It should be better at this point. It should be a little bit better. Audio levels have been lowered. Should be good to go. Should be good. So here we go. We are once again going to be opening up. Shameless does have a lead so far with the successful proxy. Again, Pappy, he did see the pylon was missing. He went for the expansion anyway, so a really greedy response out of Pappy. In the end, he could not quite keep up. This time, hello. Pappy does veer off towards the left-hand side. Where are we headed? What's the plan? Ooh, gonna be hiding towards the left-hand side. This is a prime location for a proxy Stargate. So Stargate would be an option here. Robo wouldn't be too far away, so potentially Robo as well. But leaning more towards Stargate. Just because of the short rush distance by air, right? Very short by air. So we can just chrono out an Oracle and just go straight for the mineral line. Meanwhile, Shameless, he does probe scouts. He's in the main base, he knows. He scouts, he knows that the pylon is missing. It's up to Shameless to determine, is it real, is it fake, is it a Stargate, a Robo, or a Gateway? What's going on? There's the Stargate. Stargate is turned down. Shameless is still looking for the pylon. He's searching. Still looking, still searching. So we have a Robo opener. Oof. So basically, Shameless, he doesn't know what's going on. He does send out his stalkers as well to figure out what's happening. He's looking for the proxy. Going for a Robo, this screams that he's trying to hard counter an all-in. We know that there is no all-in. Like Stargate, proxy Stargate is only designed to deal harassing damage. Babby should be expanding behind this. The Oracle's moving in. Shameless, he will confirm. There we go. Scouts the pylon, scouts the Stargate, sees the Oracle. Now he knows. And, ooh, third gateway. So, because Shameless went for a Robo himself, now he's stuck in an all-in. Now he has to go for the all-in. He's going for a third gateway. So, one base all-in out of Shameless. As he did misread. Now, Shameless, he can still pull this off. The upside for Shameless is that this Stargate takes a long time to reinforce back at home. To rally home and to reinforce. Bappy going for his own Robo, for Immortal production. That's going to be his win condition. If he can build up his Immortal counts, then he should survive. As Oracles, they do go for the drive-by. Here, they do race back home. So far, Shameless, he's committed. Stalking down heavily in his favor, but now we have 2 shield batteries. And again, the win condition, get the Immortals. Get the Immortals up and running. He does need more time. Oh. One Stalker goes down. Shameless, he gets one. far, nice control. Pulls back the weakened Stalkers. Doesn't lose anything yet. At the same time, the Oracles, they still commit across the map, but there are Stalkers to defend. Shameless is ready. He's ready for the Oracles. We get 3 probes, 4 probes even. But now we have the Immortal. Pappy's got his Immortal. Another shield battery. Oh. Still a delicate dance here for Pappy. And remember, the longer this game goes on, the better it is for Pappy. He has a natural, he has a base, he has mining. He has the superior economy. Ooh, and he's going for the dive. Yeah, it does go for the dive, and he gets 1 Immortal. 1 Immortal goes down. Shield Barriers, they put in a lot of work. The second Immortal does survive. And Pappy holds. Yeah, Pappy holds on. GG gets called. The all-in fails, and Pappy ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG well played. A big mystery there from Shameless. Again, winding it back. Initially, he saw that there was a proxy, saw something was wrong, and he did respond with his own robo, and he was forced to go into his own 1-base all-in, just because he had the robo, so he had to make use of it in some way, decided to go for the 3rd gateway, and as we mentioned, Pappy's win condition was to get into his own Immortal production. He got there in the end. He was able to get his robo, he was able to build up to 2 Immortals, shield batteries were done. GG. GG well played. Pappy does hold. And we're going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game 3. Let's go. Going to the ace match here is spawning in the top right hand corner of Ancient Sister, and we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. Tying up the series 1-1. It is Pappy. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. We go. So players are going to be settling in. Nice and good. Game 1, we had Shameless going for the proxy. Game 2, we had Pappy going for the proxy. Game 3, do we proxy each other or do we go for a standard game? We are loading into Ancient Cistern. Ancient Cistern is a larger map, longer rush distance by ground. We do typically lean towards more macro builds here. That's what we're expecting at least. Pappy doesn't move out. And so does Shameless. So they both probe scouts. They both confirm that, hey, second pylon's in the main base for Shameless, second pylon's in the main base for Pappy as well. Everything's looking normal. Everything's looking as it should. And if you remember, at the start of the series, we spoke about how, at least I anticipated more macro play between these two players. You know, getting into a 2-gate opener, 2-gate into a natural base, into Blink, into a 3rd, is kind of what I was leaning towards. We did not get that at all in Game 1 and Game 2, but it feels like we're heading in that direction here in Game 3. Oh, hello. As Shameless does veer off with a probe, which means Shameless, he may go for a 3rd gateway. 1 base all in? Yeah, he's going for it. He's going for a setting up here at the 3rd base location. Show us the pylon. Ooh, Hallucination does spot the probe. He expands. Yeah, he does expand instead. There's the pylon, but he does expand behind this. Pappy is being lured out. And Shameless, he's diving on the army. He will chase us down. We'll get one sentry. Does get one. Now rallying in, rotating into the natural. Rover back at home. And once again, nice movement out of Shameless. Tanking shots with the Hallucination. Tanks a lot of shots, but the shield batteries are done. And Pappy holds. Ooh, never mind. Jesus, we're still rallying. We're just rallying in. He's just rallying. Shield battery out of NG. Stalker goes down. He gets one. And he gets one. Tanks. Oh, tanks a lot of blows with the Hallucinations. But now there's a second shield battery. Shameless still rallying. He smells blood in the water. He's going for the kill. Boys are being pulled. Boys are being pulled. Once again, there's support with the shield batteries. Oh. Pappy's struggling to hold on. He did at least have the faster expansion, but Shameless is catching up. Here come the warpins. Ooh, and he does break through. Gets 3 more Stalkers, down to 2 Stalkers left. Down to 1. Does warp in. Again, trying to hold on, but there's no blink. And Shameless is so close to just breaking Pappy here and now. Pappy, he just wants a macro. Ooh, lose 1. We'll lose 2 Stalkers. Nice control. And miscontrol there by Shameless. Nice targeting out of Pappy. Once again, he's trading. Oof. Catching out 2 more. Catching out more Stalkers, picking up more probes. And finally, Shameless backs up. Shameless, he backs off. Bakonomi has begun immortal production. Twilight Council's on the way. Late Twilight Council, early blink out of Pappy. And who do we favor here? So Pappy, he was taking a lot of losses. He was sustaining a lot of losses, that is true. But at the same time, Shameless doesn't really have a high probe count himself. And he has no third base. So economically, Pappy, he's keeping up. But army-wise, he bled out a lot of Stalkers. Army's not quite there. Ideally, Shameless wants to make use of his blink advantage. But he will expand. Alas, he will expand. And while Pappy's expanding, Shameless, as you can see here, 2 base all in. 2 base all in, he throws down 2 more gates, so he's going into a 5-gate 2 base all in with immortal production, waiting for the War Prism, and then Shameless is just going to send it. Just going to send it across the map. Pappy, can he survive this? Unfortunately, he did sustain a lot of losses earlier, so Pappy's still recovering from that. He is expanding, getting a 3rd base. This won't really help too much in the defense either. It's going to be a tough hold here for Pappy. It's going to be tough. Here comes Shameless. Shameless, he still has momentum with those immortals. Blink is finishing up as well. At the same time, we do have Shameless veering off with a couple of adepts. Let's veer off, we'll shade in. Here comes the main army, diving on the shield battery. Battery goes down. We get a couple of force fields. Nice save out of Shameless. Shameless. Oh no! We go for the dive, go for the blink. Gets one immortal. Not even the juggling. Juggling is too good. And GG, Shameless, he will overwhelm. He will break on through. He pulls off the 2-base all in, and Shameless will claim the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played, congratulations. Shameless, he will claim the series. Did go all the way to the ace match. Pappy, he was able to hold his own, but we saw that unfortunately as Pappy was expanding, Shameless just doubled down, went into the all-in. Pappy, he was not ready for it. He only had one shield battery at the 3rd base. He had no immortals of his own. GG. GG, well played. In the end, Shameless, he will advance on, and Pappy, he is out of the tournament. Enter here. There we go. As Pappy is out, and now we have 2 series left. 2 series left in tonight's broadcast. As you can see here, we have Shameless. Shameless, he advances on to face off against Art in the next round. Meanwhile, we have Nicoract advancing on to face off against YoungYakov. So we have 2 series remaining. It is going to be Nicoract versus Yakov alongside Shameless versus Art. More PvPs. More PvPs. So those are going to be our final 2 series of the broadcast. For now, again, because we are halfway through, we're going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, we'll have our next matches. We'll have our next series. We'll be back with Nicoract and YoungYakov in that Terran versus Zerg matchup. See you soon. See you soon after the break. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OSC as we have returned with the second half of the broadcast. We just wrapped up with the first 3 series here, and we have a bit of due to a couple of players. Of course, we saw Iba getting knocked out, Sebes getting knocked out, and of course Pappy also being knocked out of the tournament, as we're in the lower half of the bracket. We're in the lower bracket, I should say, the elimination brackets, and as a result we have 2 series left, also elimination matches, and we'll see who is going to make it through and who was knocked out of the tournament. Up next we do have Nicoract and YoungYakov facing off in a TVZ. Oh boy. Again, YoungYakov, he has been a lot more in form. I think I might even favor him against Nicoract, but we'll see how our players will approach each other. Let's go, as game 1 is on Ancient Cistern. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the red Terran player for the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player, himself. It is YoungYakov. Go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our TVZ. Coming into this, I do expect this to be quite a close one. I will say that YoungYakov should pose a greater threat to Nicoract, and again, I might even favor him in this series. Nicoract is typically hyper-aggressive here, but if he fails to get damage done early on, then we lean more towards the Zerg player. So we'll see. We'll see if Nicoract can pop off. We'll keep an eye on the Hellions. We'll keep an eye on his build of choice. We'll keep an eye on Nicoract. Likewise, of course, we did actually feature YoungYakov. What was it, 2 weeks ago at this point, where he did take down Bjorn in Tuna Cup? True. Did eliminate Bjorn. It was a very impressive series, but it also did predicate a little bit on Bjorn being greedy, on YoungYakov popping off. We also saw YoungYakov actually thrive in the late game and did actually defeat Bjorn in a late game ZVT scenario with, of course, Mass Ultra. Yakov did get there. And coming into Ancient Cistern, we could be looking at something similar with YoungYakov looking to get into that longer and later game. We'll see. We shall see. For now, standard opener out of Nicoract, going ranks expand. Likewise, hatch gas pool out of YoungYakov. No one's going gasless. So we have our emotes being thrown out. As Nicoract is going to be moving out, making his way towards the natural discounts to get a read on what's going on. We can see that behind this, again, we're pulling out of gas. There's no fast gas income. There's no roach warren. There's no bust. Just poking in, confirming, testing the waters, just making sure that everything's as it should be. Calming down, happy, calming down. There's a third CC, so behind this standard economic follow-up, third CC before starport. Regret we're settling in. From here, we could throw down a starport or a second Rax, but I feel like we would have seen a Rax by now. Yeah, just waiting for the gas. Yeah, there it is, second starport. Sorry, the starport, I should say. Not second Rax. So 3 CC, 1-1-1 out of Nicoract, most likely into Banshee play. You don't get much more standard than this. Now, we have seen Nicoract embrace mech in this matchup. True. He's actually very fond of going BC mech. But this isn't really the build that it leads into BCs, as typically we would be going into a faster starport, into a delayed CC. So there's the add-on top. Are amassing. Banshee production has begun. Everything's looking normal. For now, just threatening the mineral line. No major damage. Nothing major yet. we'll see if Nicoract does decide to go for the dive. Behind this, we have a bio follow-up, 3-1-1. Cloak Banshees are on the way. YoungYakov going double Evo Chamber first. That is double Evo Chamber before Lair and before the Baneling Nest, so a very greedy play here by Yakov. Prioritizing upgrades. This tells me that YoungYakov will have the upgrade lead, getting into a longer game. The downside is late Baneling speed, which means he's going to be vulnerable to an early push, something more committed, like Hellbats. But Nicoract's playing standard. So I do favor YoungYakov's position. Better upgrades. A little bit greedy here, but he will get away with the greed. Nicoract, he pulls back home. In doing so, he doesn't really have the opportunity to harass across the map. Banshees are poking in. Ideally, you want to be poking with the Banshees on one end and then the Hellions on the other. Sad only the Banshees. They can get a Queen. True. Not bad. Queen goes down, but a miscontrol there by YoungYakov. Again, remember the lair is delayed. So Overseer's on the non-existent. Damage so far. Catching out 2 tumors. Ooh, dividing the expansion. Getting another Queen. High NG Queen as well. Not bad. Nicoract getting a lot of value out of these Banshees. Lair is now done. It's going to be Lingbane Hydra out of YoungYakov. Going for a more traditional composition. It's been a while. Again, over the past couple of weeks, all the Zerg players have been just rushing into Ultras and skipping any further tech. Anything like Spire or Hydrogen. So it is refreshing. As the setup that YoungYakov has is more indicative of Lurker tech. Some of the Banshees. Snipes the Banshee. Nicoract once again, he's just 9 creep. And we'll see what he can get done. Once again, he's not all in. He's taking gases, getting a 4th TC. He is going for a 7-minute push. But for the most part, YoungYakov should be ready. Banelings are being denied. Okay, there's not that many Banelings. It's not that many. Only 9. Nicoract, he can bring down the expansion. Yakov's trying to collapse in. Tank volleys from one of the Banelings. Yeah, nice tank shots. He spreads decently well. Marine's a little bit out of position. Tanks are going to be going down. And Yakov holds. Yeah, Yakov, he does barely hold on. Nicoract still rallying across the map. At the same time, Yakov going for a counterattack. It does hit the mineral line. 10 SCV is going to be going down at the same time, and Nicoract does take down the base. Gets the 4th, but oh no, he fights! He turns and fights with the SCVs. He will lose every worker. 22 SCVs go down. Oof, brutal damage. And that might just be too much. That is critical damage here. 22 kills. Spar does force the scan. Yakov, he's building up. Hive is on the way. Lurker Den is on the way. Yakov once again gets into the middle line. Oh, Does burst some banelings. Hydras do get surrounded though. Okay. Hydras are shut down. Nicoract, he did not notice here that we do have an army borrowed in the mineral line. And Yakov, he needs his lurkers. There's the Unburrow. Gets more SCVs. Nicoract, he does not turn around. It's going to be another 16 SCV kills. Yakov, he does not get on top of the tanks. Get them, goes to the runway instead. Getting on top of the army, getting on top of the tank. Yakov, he defends bottom right. And it's going to be 19 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. Nicoract's all in. It's all or nothing. This army has to end the game. It's a pretty large force. Stimming in. Dusting forward. Queens, they move command in, but looks like there should be barely enough Link Hydra. Not the cleanest fight, but we'll shut this down. Here come the abductions, here come the Vipers. Can we get the medevacs? Should be able to at least get one. Hydras are lunging in. Ooh, Yakov has to be careful not to overextend, pushing into a concave. Let's get the hell out of here. And pulls away. Viper's gathering more energy. And Yakov is just going to go for the kill move here with lurkers. Again, Nicoract, he's just lost too many SCVs throughout the course of the game. He's lost how many? He's lost 44 workers. 44 SCV kills. Gearing up more Ling Bane. Yakov, he's maxed. Distracted by the drop. And he should shut this down. There's the lunge. Gets one, gets two. And does get both medevacs. Both medevacs go down. Yakov moving in. And now you can just go for the kill. You can go for the throw. It's massive powerbomb. Lurkers a burrow. And Nicoract, he cannot fight the ZG. Gets called. YoungYakov takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Nicoract, he had a really rough start here as he was gearing up into his own mid-game. We saw that so many workers, we pointed out 44 SCVs had gone down throughout the course of the game, losing mineral line after mineral line. The first run by was brutal. I think the first run by killed 22 workers. It was crazy. Just how much damage was being done, and yeah, with that, GG. GG, well played. Losses that Nicoract could not sustain, and Yakov did outscale. Yakov was also quite greedy in his play as well, opening up double Evo. Got away with it. But those are things you can get away with on these larger maps. Now we're loading into a smaller map. We're loading into Persephone. Let's go. Let us go. We're spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone. We have the Red Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg player himself, leading the series 1-0. It is YoungYakov. We go. Here we go. here we go, getting into game 2. Again, YoungYakov, he was able to get away with quite an amount of greed last time, but he shouldn't be able to here on Persephone. We should be seeing some more tame play out of YoungYakov. We might even see some, sorry, I say tame play. We might even see some more aggressive play instead with faster roach horns and more aggression early on. That's what I'm leaning towards here from Yakov. So we have our GLHF. Minute 30 in. Let's go. So we're calming down. So from here we are going to be poking in. Standard opener, we're pulling out of gas, so just standard opener here out of YoungYakov, hatch gas pull into a third. Likewise, Nicoract, same, going racks, expand into his own factory. Oh, does delay the third base, not bad. Drone goes down, nice control here with the Reaper. He'll chase down the Lings, he'll save his SCV. Just barely. He does pop off. So far, nice early game. Behind this, going for his own third base. Still standard follow-up here out of Nicoract. Oh, hello. Never mind. Does go for the third CC into what? Into a factory. We did mention at the start of the series how Nicoract, he is one to play mech. But if you remember, I had assumed that if he were to play mech, he'd go into BCs first, like BC into mech. But no, this time we're going straight into a second factory. Okay. We're going straight into Hellion, then into Battle Mech. Nicoract, he's popping up. So far, Yakov going for a Ling run by. The Hellions are dragged out of position. Lings, they move in. Nice control here by YoungYakov. Nicoract getting caught out. No major losses here, losing 3 SCVs. But I might be speaking too soon. This is all a lot of lost mine time. Yeah, a lot of mine time is lost. Going for another worker. It's 7 in total. Oof. 7 SCV kills. Hellion kind of building up. We do have Blue Flame on the way. Third factory as well. Checking the vision here. YoungYakov, what has he seen? He hasn't confirmed. Did notice the high Hellion count. Roach Horns on the way. Means are trying to keep up. He has to be so careful with these Hellions. Cannot throw them away. As he's building up his army. Ooh, meanwhile, YoungYakov, he does slip by. He gets spotted. Thankfully, Nicoract does spot this. Gains up the Lings. It does clean up. We have how many in total? It's going to be 15 Hellions. No armory, so no Hellbats. Blue Flame is done. Does not get into the natural. Nice wall. Yakov does wall in time. So far, Nicoract, he does no critical damage yet. Still looking for another way in. Now, my concern here is that so far these Hellions, again, they haven't really done much damage. Yakov waiting for roach speed, and then he should be pushing. Should be moving out. Again, this is a big investment into Blue Flame Hellions. Otherwise, typically, we would have gotten into faster Magfill and faster Cyclone production. But Cyclones have been delayed for this. And so far, it's not been worth it. He's holding, is up to 3 base saturation. Does over some with these roaches though. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4 dead roaches. And Yakovi just counterattacks. And he's just sending it across the map. Bold move. Back at home. Oh, the wall is up. Will delay. Base goes down. That was a cancel, not a kill. The reinforcements. Nicoract not paying attention. Gets caught out. Losing 1. Losing almost 2 Cyclones. There we go. Losing 3. 1 Cyclone left. Down to 0. 0 Cyclones remaining. Roaches are busting across the map. Boys are being pulled. And Nicoract is falling apart. He's falling apart, Pappy. Again, the investment into mass Hellion, it just wasn't worth it. Just wasn't worth it. He delayed his own Cyclones. And that's why the Cyclone count is so low. It's just so low. There's 3 Cyclones left. Roaches are rallying in. Gets another Cyclone and another. Down to 1. GG gets called and YoungYakov, he snowballs out of control. He will take the series 2-0. He will advance on into the next round. GG. GG, well played. An interesting build here out of Nicoract to go into Mass Hellion and to go into Blue Flame. Not something that we're used to seeing, is what I will say, but alas, unfortunately, it just wasn't worth it. We saw that YoungYakov, he was able to get a full wall back at home, able to get into his roaches as well, and the Hellions, they never got into a mineral line. But on the flip side, we saw Lings they did get into the mineral lines. SCVs were going down early on, so we saw that YoungYakov was able to deal some crippling early game damage, and we saw that unfortunately Nicoract was not able to do any counter damage. GG well played. With that, again, he was stuck with mainly Hellion. He was trying to get into Cyclones, but he didn't get there in time. Did not get there in time. GG well played. With that, we do see that Nicoract is out of the tournament, and we have 1 series left here tonight. 1 series left in the broadcast. It's going to be a PvP between Shameless and Art. Oh boy. Not to be confused with the other Art, who's also in the tournament. Who's in the upper bracket, actually. Well, let's go. It's going to be the final PvP, the final series of the broadcast. Again, when it comes to the upper bracket, Art and Percival, they are going to be duking out there at a later date next week. We're actually nearing the end of the event. True. Nearing the end. As we are getting into our fresh series. And here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss representing Team Quasar. It is Art. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss himself representing Team Little Fairy. It is a Shameless. Here we go. So we're getting into another PvP. Of course, we just featured Shameless versus Pappy, and it was a very intense matchup, very aggressive, of course. We had a lot of all-ins, a lot of proxies. We'll see how if that trend continues here as well. So now we have our 2-gate opener out of Art. Likewise, 2-gate opener out of Shameless. Shameless, he fans out with the probe towards the left. Meanwhile, so does Art. They're both headed in a similar direction. Oh, never mind. Art's just going for a scout across the map. Shameless hiding his probe. We go. Based on this location here, it looks like potentially either a proxy Stargate or a fake pylon, as it is quite far away. Meanwhile, RT goes in for the scout. He will confirm the pylon is missing. Something's wrong. RT is aware. For us, we're waiting for the cyber core, and again, we are expecting our tech of choice. Cyber core is done. Proxy Stargate. Okay, the reason why we assumed it will Stargate is just because it is a long rush distance by ground, but a short rush distance by air. The standard proxy location is here, at the just outside the main base. The second location will be here, a little bit further back. This is the third location. It is a lot farther back than we would like to see, but it is closer than the main. True, it is closer. Because it's so far back, it is difficult to scout. You can see here, yep, Art, he checks the standard proxy location, and then he should check down here on the low ground. Yep, the second location. Checking where we would expect to see a Stargate. Ooh, and RT does go for a Robo. Again, he's checking, he's confirming that there's no Stargate, but it looks like he will finally find the actual proxy. No shot! He misses! Barely does miss the Stargate. Ay, ay, ay. So a big misread here from RT. He's going for the Robo. This is to defend against a one-base all-in, but it's not an all-in coming. Proxy Stargate is just a harass. Shameless will be expanding. And Art, he's making Immortals. Now Art, he should be forced into a one-base all-in. Because he's stuck on one base, because he's making Immortals soon, when I say soon, here and now, he will confirm that there is a Nexus. And once he does, he has the option, he has a choice to throw down a gateway. And as you can see here, the shield barrier doesn't help. Ah! He hasn't confirmed yet with the probe. He's convinced an all-in is coming. Yeah, no. And Stalkers move in, and now he finds out what's been happening. Now Art is aware. War Prism's on the way. Oof, probe's gonna be going down. Losing 3 workers and all this mining time. And as we mentioned, we should be seeing a third gateway and just a one-base all-in. Just Art, he's forced into an all-in. Which can still work. As he's rallying everything across the map. Main base is exposed, the Oracle goes back into the main. Oof, deals more damage. Gets 2 more probes. Here comes Art. Now back at home, what do we have to defend? We have 2 shield batteries, soon to be 3. So 3 shield batteries, we have some force fields, Immortal production is halfway done. Shameless has to survive until the Immortal pops out. It's not going to be easy. I'm moving in. Let's move in, does juggle over the wall. The Immortal going for the sentry. So far, Shameless buying time. Does take down a couple of Stalkers. Oof. Ah, but he's out of energy. There we go, shield battery back online. The Immortal has arrived. Does move in. And with that, Shameless, he is holding. Remember, he can pull the boys. Yeah, boys are being pulled. It's still quite close. Warpin does complete. Alright, he has control of the natural. Okay. Has control of the natural, takes down the pylon. At the same time, the Oracle does get damage done across the map. 3 more probe kills. Again, Shameless was barely broken. Shameless, he cannot move down the ramp. He cannot save the base. The base will go down. So 1 base versus 1 base. Who do we favor? Keep housing gateways for a moment. Adaptation into the middle line. More probes going down. Art, he's making this work. He's making this work. No target firing towards the end. Oh, he's getting caught out. Oh no! Yeah, he's getting caught. Lane control. So Art, he was distracted. Was distracted. And as it settles, Art actually up in workers. He's got 20 probes to the 16 of Shameless. Shameless lost a lot of probes here to the Adepts. At the same time, he does have 2 Immortals. Oh, also, before I forget, there we go. I was engrossed in the game, but predictions were open. A little bit late, but get your Gamba going. So here we go, we do have the drop on the pylon. Likewise, Shameless going across the map. Shameless gets supply blocked. Same time, does get the pylon. Goes down. This is still very tense, still very close. The Oracle getting more damage, 6 more probes falling. Nice force fields in the main base, cashing out more probes. Like, this is what's crucial here, crippling the economy. Oh, and the army's stuck? The army's trapped. Again, Shameless, he made the choice to move out across map with his War Prism. So he cannot control back at home, he cannot juggle. He's lacking that micro. Nice control, he should get the Immortal. He should! Oh no, the Immortal survives! That should not have happened. Yeah, miscontrol there from Shameless. Does miscontrol. Alright, he starts up his own Phoenix. And Art, might just have this. Like, Phoenixes, there's such a strong tool here in this kind of game state. To do this, to chase down the War Prism. And what can the Prism do? Nothing. Prism's gonna go down. The Immortals, they break out. Oh, bait into the stasis. Okay. Nice bait. Prism gets signed. Snipe, there's the recall back home. Shameless is expanding, so is Art. And do we stabilize from here? I mean, looking at the army size, there's still 5 Immortals left over for Art, and he has the Phoenixes as well. He has the Phoenix lead. Again, the MVPs of this game were the Adepts. The Adepts, they dealt so much economic damage to the main. That should never have happened. But Shameless did mess up. Alright, he's going for the kill. Jumping into the main base. Again, does have the Phoenix advantage. But he's pushing into a shield battery. Uh-oh. Phoenixes, they do trade. Prism drop into the mineral line, killing more probes. Shameless does catch out the sentries at least. That's another 6 probe kills. Shameless, can he take down the Prism? Uh-oh. Okay, here comes the interception. There's a recall. Oh, Automass! Ooh, barely nuts. The one stalker, this one stalker did move away. Could have gotten the last shot off. Este stalker. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, it did move out of range. And Art does get away. And Art takes a lead. Like, Art, he has a very comfortable lead here. He's up in Immortals. Getting into Blink. Has better saturation. Better economy. It's been a very intense game here with Art being forced into a one-base all-in, which was able to deal some critical damage, specifically thanks to the Adepts. Adepts ain't popped off. And Shameless should have had that economic advantage coming into this game, but alas it not. Plus 25 workers in total to the 18 of Art. Shameless taking a third base. Now from here, the game is slowing down. The advantages that Art had, he didn't press the advantage, so because of that, Shameless is recovering. I'm referring to this, third base, right? The third base is now done, so Shameless, he can recover economically, making 3 probes at a time. Art, his third base is only halfway done. So in this time, Shameless is recovering. He'd be vulnerable to an all-in, but Art is not all-inning. Art is also expanding. So Art is allowing Shameless to recover in this game. So Shameless is recovering. We're both building up into the mid-game. Coming into this game state here, Art will have the +1 advantage. He has +1 in production. Shameless, I believe, no Forge. Yeah, no Forge. So no Forge for Shameless. Oh wait, no, sorry, he does have one. There it is. So +1 is on the way. He's not too far behind. Depending on the chrono boost, then Shameless, he can also catch up in this upgrade as well. We have Charge on the way, Temple Archives. Art, he's refining his army, getting to Charge Archon. Likewise, Shameless, not too far behind. Is delayed when it comes to Charge and should be delayed when it comes to Temple Archives as well. But he's also getting there, and if Art is too passive, then again, Shameless will catch up in all that tech. There it is. There's that Temple Archives. So again, the game is slowing down. Oh. Cast is now being taken. Art has still been mining more gas for longer, so he still has the better army, at least currently. Getting up in Immortals, up in Archons. Look at the War Prism. Here comes Art. And we'll see how he engages, as he does go too far ahead with those Zealots. Ooh, as the Zealots go down, the Prism barely gets away. But a messy engagement here from Art. Better start for Shameless. Moving in. Does move in. Does get on top of the 4th base. Does force a cancel. pulls back, he rotates again, he did deny the fourth. And there's no pressure. Art, he can just back up, he can just chill, get his own fourth base up and running. And Art should be the first to max. Should be the first. You could definitely argue that Art could have kept pushing, but he's just playing it safe. Safe. Once again, his immortals are lagging behind. Now catching up. Shameless, he's getting on some of the Archons. The Archons are going down. Again, a bit of a fumbled fight here from Art. Pushing up a ramp into a concave. And Art will lose every Archon. Again, half the fight occurred without the immortals. GG gets called. And Shameless, he fights back. He puts a point on the board. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, Arts, he had the faster fourth base, he had the better economy, he did not have to fight then and there, and also when it came to the fight, as we mentioned, his army was lagging behind, he came in segments really, if anything, the immortals were lagging behind, pushing up a ramp into a concave, and GG, Art, he just ran out of patience. He ran out of patience, man. Yeah. The Art, and with that, Shameless, he does take a lead. Does take a lead here. Shameless, he recovered. He hung in there. And now we're getting into game number 2. Whew. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the red Protoss player. With the red Protoss representing Team Quasar, it is Art. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player. Representing Team Little Fairy, it is Shameless. Leading the series 1-0, and again, Art, he just had to calm down. He was in a better position. He had more Archons, more Immortals. He had the faster fourth base. He had the better army. He just had to calm down. With that, we're getting into game 2. Again, welcome one and all to Golden Aura. Golden Aura is one of the older maps in the map pool. Is one of the older maps from a couple of years ago. But back for this tournament. And we'll see where our players do take us. Last game we had Shameless going for the proxy Stargate. We had Art with a big misread going for the Robo back at home and being forced into the one base all in. I will say that Shameless, he should have had the advantage when it came to the defense of that one base all in. But Shameless, the Adepts, they got into the main base. He lost a lot of probes. And Art was able to take an advantage, take a lead. For now, Shameless, he probe scouts, and there's no proxy. There's no proxy, there's no shenanigans. Yes, this is a PSA for those out there in the chat. Just calm down, but calm down. When you're ahead, you can just get further ahead. Just get further ahead. Let the fourth base kick in. Be the first to max out. Otherwise, from here, standard openers. This time, there's no proxy out of Shameless. Likewise, no proxy out of Art. Both players should be expanding. That's why you can see both players are here to pylon block. There's Nexus for Shameless. And there's the base for Art. Oh, he actually makes another set of Stalkers. Art, did he scout? He didn't see the Nexus. So, delayed expansion out of our red Protoss. One base all in. Proxy. Hello? Does go for the Nexus, but behind this, he's setting up for the proxy here across the map. Robo open out of Shameless. Very safe play out of our blue Protoss. Yeah, there's the pylon. Okay, so a couple of things here. So a robot opener after a natural expansion is indicative here of very safe play. This does mean that Shameless does have early immortal production. The downside is Blink, right? No Twilight Council, no Blink. So because he has no Blink Stalkers, Shameless, he shouldn't be active on the map. He should not be pushing because he would get caught out, right? He'd be outmaneuvered by his opponent. So this should be a very defensive, very safe play out of Shameless. Meanwhile, RT is pushing. And we'll see if Shameless can survive. Art's going for his own Robo back at home. So Robo versus Robo. Interesting. Shameless he defends. They're going for the initial War Prism. We'll have that micro potential. Spots the army. Alright, so there are those two MVP adepts. Oh. Shameless getting locked down. Let's trade a couple of stalkers. Adepts, they try to shade in. Gonna be blocked. Yeah, this time Shameless is keeping up. Losing only 2 adepts. Or 2 probes, I meant to say. Yeah, only 2 worker kills. Much cleaner defense this time from Shameless. And he holds. Shameless does hold. The scouts across the map, he confirms their saturation. I should have confirmed the tech as well. Yep, did confirm the robo. So he knows. So where are the robo? Behind this, going for the Twilight Council. Now, because both ways would open up robo, I'm curious to see if Shameless does go straight into charge. He could go straight into charge or straight into Glaive Adepts. What's it gonna be? Do we skip Blink? That's what I'm getting at. Do we skip it? Their base is being taken. So they start distracting. Shades into the main. Oh. Barely. Doesn't quite get in. Shameless is banking a lot of resources. Where's the upgrade? There it is. Good. He's not skipping, so he's going into Blink. This is a little bit delayed, just because of the Adept distraction. So delayed Blink, and we spoke about Charge or Glaives. We're seeing Glaives out of Art. Again, I assumed that it was going to be Shameless going into Glaives. Other way around. So as you can imagine, Glaives does not scale well into a longer game. It makes sense that we're going into Glaives, going into +1, while Shameless expands. So Shameless is gearing up towards a longer game. Art, he's doubling down on 2 bases. Glaive Adepts, they do a great job when it comes to tanking shots and, yeah, just mainly tanking shots. And also dealing with charge lots as well. So Art, he should not be stopping immortal production. He needs as many immortals as possible. As Art is all in. Art is just going for a 2-base all-in, going for a Gateway Explosion. I believe that's going to be a 2-base 7-gate all-in. I believe he can afford another Gateway for an 8. And Shameless, his win condition, just survive. Just defend. Defend, survive. Vamos, sin vergüenza, man. True, true. Without any fear. Saying just send it, man. Just send it. Saudi's pushing. Again, it's all or nothing. Either he kills Shameless or he dies trying. But the problem here is that Shameless, he's pretty well set up. He's got, what, 3, 4 shield batteries. Jumping into the main. Let up say cancel the shade. Going for the warp in. Does go for the blink. Ooh, the prism does not get out. A force to recall. Ay, ay, ay. Brutal loss. And yeah, things are looking bleak for Art. He has to get damage done. So far, this is not good enough. Does force field, does zone away the main army. So they just blink over. Yeah, they just blink over the wall. And there's no immortals. There's 0 immortals here with the main army. Where are they? That's meant to be the advantage. Again, the immortals they had to recall back home. The immortals are not a part of the fight. It's a lot of force fields, making it a little bit awkward. But Shameless, he will take this. Yeah, the shield barriers, they put in a lot of work. Once again, the immortals, they get zoned away. And GG gets scored. GG gets scored. RT runs out of steam, and Shameless, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Again, a bit of an awkward all-in out of Art. He had a cheeky move dropping into the main base, but he lost the War Prism, was forced to recall, and in doing so, that heavily delayed the all-in from Art. Time was of the essence. The longer the game went on, the better it was for Shameless, of course, and with that, GG. GG, well played in the end. Shameless did overwhelm. Game 1 was close though. Again, I can see a world where this goes to the ace match. Game 1 was Art's game, 100%. It was meant to be his game, papi, but alas, in the end, Art, he did fumble the ball. He got a little bit too excited. He was a little bit premature. Like, he was ahead in so many aspects. Remember, Art, he had more Archons, he had more Immortals, he had a higher base count, he had a better economy, and then he kind of rallied up a ramp and into his death. It was like So again, there's a world out there where we could have seen an ace match, but in the end, Shameless did punish the mistakes of Art, and Shameless did claim it. GG. GG, well played, congratulations. Shameless does advance on, and now we can catch up with the rest of the brackets. So let's figure out where we are as we have reached our top four of the tournament. Quickly here, from the very top of the bracket, in the upper bracket, we have the top 2 players, Art and Percival. This is the other Art. So you can see there was the Art on Art action earlier in the brackets, but that is the Polish Art. The Polish Art is up against Percival in the upper bracket. Percival did take down YoungYakov, of course. They're going to be facing off in a best of 5. Scrolling down, we do have the lower bracket where we just have featured YoungYakov taking down Nicoract, and we just featured Shameless taking down Art as well. So we have YoungYakov and Shameless. They're going to be facing off in the best of 5 in the lower bracket semifinals. So we have our top four players. We have Art and Percival, and we have YoungYakov and Shameless. So top 4 players of the tournament. We will not be featuring the final matches here. Again, this will be next week. Should be like next week or the week after. We might cover it, otherwise it could be steadfast, but these are best of 5s. Best of 5s moving forward, and I believe a best of 7 finals. No, just best of 5. So best of 5s all around. 4 best of 5s remaining here in the tournament to crown our OSC Elite Rising Star champion. For those that may be tuning in a little bit late, for those that are curious what this tournament is, this tournament, as you can see, is a massive tournament. Double elimination, featuring players like Iba, Jumi, Baby Marine, Night Phoenix, Percival, Inexorable, Sebestes, Shameless. Basically, players that are definitely up there. They're top players, of course, top players out there, but they're in the middle of the pack, right? This is not like a Serral or a Rainer or a Hero or a Classic. Basically, this tournament is restricted, and it does not allow those top players to compete. Basically, if players place too highly in major premier tournaments, like in Katowice or EWC or EPT, DreamHack, if they place too highly in these big events, they are ineligible to compete in this tournament. So again, this is for, as the tournament, as the name suggests, the Rising Stars. For the Rising Stars, to allow them to compete amongst each other. And again, as we mentioned, we have a top 4. Last season, the last OSC Elite Rising Star champion, fun fact, was who? Was Jumi. Jumi was the last champion, but he gets knocked out early by Sebestes, and it allows for these other players to rise up instead. YoungYakov, Shameless, Percival, and Art. And again, that'll be wrapping up in the next couple of weeks. We might cover it, Steadfast might cover it, it all depends. Typically for OSC events, they do rotate casters, and they rotate between the community casters, whether it's ourselves, Steadfast, Wardy, Chicken Man, Dave Testa, one or the other. We'll be out there covering the event. We'll be out there. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for support. We do appreciate it. When it comes to the rest of our schedule, as you can see here, we do have an intense schedule this week. We just wrapped up with the Tuesday morning cast. This evening, we're going to be live with Sparkling Tuna Cup. That is going to be the monthly invitational. That is going to be featuring players like Hero, players like Beyond, players like Shin as well, featuring some of the best players in the world. Oh boy. Let me just show off. Un momento. Let's have a look here. Bam. There we go. So tonight we're live with the Sparkling Tuna Cup, but this is a very special edition. This is a monthly edition. Typically, for those that are curious, the Tuna Cup is an open tournament. It is our weekly open cup. It is very similar to, say, Wardy TV Monday or Pigastar Cup or Monday Night Weeklies. So it's our regular weekly tournament that is open to all players. But specifically for the remainder of the year, these weeklies, they lead to a monthly finals. And we have our top 8 players for the month. We have Nightmare versus Shin. We have Beyond versus Geralt. We have Hero versus YoungYakov, and Creator versus Nicoract. Here we go. So we have our top 8 players here for the month, and they're going to be facing off tonight. They're going to be facing off live tonight here in our top 8 round of 8 bracket. The way that it works is we're going to be featuring the first 2 series initially. So we're going to be casting Nightmare versus Shin, Beyond versus Geralt is going to be happening at the same time, and we're going to be covering Hero versus YoungYakov, Creator versus Nicoract also happening at the same time as well. So we're going to get into our quarterfinals. That will lead into the semis thereafter, and then into the grand finals. Oh boy. So again, that is all going to be tonight. That is going to be in around 7.5 hours. 7.5 hours time. I'm going to get some breakfast. I'm going to go get some food, and then I'm going to pass the hell out and get some sleep and get ready for the cast. It's going to be amazing. Going to be beautiful. Going to be the first of many monthly finals. Let's go. Let us go. As you can see in the schedule, you can see there 7 p.m. KST, the Tuna, you can see there Tuesday night. Tomorrow we're going to be live with the Pigastar Cup, and then we have Lily Cup, then we have the Starfest qualifiers. I'll leave a bit of a caveat for that. I was just notified that I might not be available Thursday morning, so we might be skipping that cast. But for the most part, we have plenty of StarCraft. We're going to be live at least every day. Once a day, every single day at least, otherwise twice a day. So a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. Awkward adolescent Yakov is my favorite. Oh no. Oh no. He has leveled up from YoungYakov. True. But GG, well played. With that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. If you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon. The Patreon does actually fund our tournaments. It funds the Tuna Cup. It does fund the Tuna Cup. So if you wish to support, you can. Otherwise, we'll see you guys later on tonight. See you later on tonight here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao. Papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.